In a global society, now disrupted by a virus since early 2020, we can practice for ourselves what we preach for others. Building blocks are lying all over the planet, now that the structures as we knew them have collapsed. Who would have thought 6 months ago that a virus could rearrange so much in such a short period of time? The human-inflicted damages to the planet of the last decades have become even more visible by COVID-19. With technology, the actual state of nature, its causes and its solutions can be shown in detail. That was already the case long before COVID-19, but now everyone feels the urgency to do something about it. That is new. We have the chance to build up new structures from scratch. Structures that enhance both the economy and the ecology. I consider the Meso sector, NGOs, schools, healthcare, SMEs, as the crucial intermediaries between macro, which is big money, and industry, and micro, the public. That is why I promote the use of the Meso Method, the elements of which are the following. M stands for mentoring, E stands for education, S stands for solution, and O stands for offer. The proper development and use of tools and technology, solution, is enhanced when it is combined with sufficient funding, offer, basic education, and ongoing mentoring. A public-private partnership is a perfect structure to encompass all these elements in a workable project. Projects in which all interests are taken into consideration and there is a win for all involved. Both economical and ecological interests can be served. In the ideal public-private partnership, the public and private macro sector provides for the funding, the offer, and the know-how via mentoring and education. The government protects the public interest via regulation and education. The Meso sector finally develops the solution. The solution is tailor-made for the needs of the microsector, being the consumers, or in the south, the smallholder farmers as producers of our food. An example for the south is this model. It is based on a blockchain application and involves all stakeholders in a level playing field. A smallholder farmer pushes a button on a smart device of the local aggregator. The farmer thus creates an online identity, which is a funding requirement. With the funding, the farmer buys technologically improved inputs from the macro sector. The farmer receives information via the device and, if wished, will be trained and/or mentored. This model can be used for all sorts of industries and markets globally. I know of a few existing, successful multinational projects that are based on this model. Let's remember that the industrial macro sector has only come into existence in the last few decades. Before that, the Meso sector was the main provider of the basic needs of the public. Schools, healthcare, SMEs like barbers, butchers, and bakeries. Through machinery and automation, the power and ownership consolidated and now rests with a small group in the top of the pyramid. With the Meso method, and thus by making use of new tools and technologies in a proper way, the power and capital can be distributed in a more just and equitable way. All relevant factors and actors can be included, without taking away anyone's existing power or capital. Who can disagree with that? Historically, international development was done by NGOs, funded by the government. We are now more and more heading towards international cooperation via public-private partnership. Going forward, we can add the elements interdependency and rehabilitation. International consciousness of climate change and eco-damages via the UN Treaty of Paris and the more recent corona crisis led to heightened sense of interdependence. There are new possibilities to prove and calculate damages via satellites and biotechnology. Public and private parties working together to reverse negative effects on climate, while creating new markets for the daily necessities of the growing population, economy and ecology. If all current value chain players in a certain sector take part in this approach, this will ensure that the markets that are already volatile will not be disrupted by new technologies. But instead, these new technologies will help to create stable bottom-up markets. Public-private partnerships originally derive from the fields of construction and road building. Later, it was extended to the field of research and development. In other words, public money was applied in predictable technological processes, with more or less controllable inputs and outputs. Since not so long, world governmental organs like the European Union, the African Union, United Nations and World Bank use public-private partnership to create societal impact. Governments, European Union, UN, World Bank, are looking for a new way of development cooperation. Public-private partnership is embraced as a promising answer. In my view, public-private partnership done right is the way forward to address the current wicked problems, like food insecurity, water scarcity, climate change, energy shortage, migration, gender inequality, illiteracy, and even pandemics. Public-private partnerships done wrong is heading for disaster, social disruption, and even new colonialism.